Hi, my name is Sam, and this is Life After Natural Disaster, a YouTube channel that I created after I lost my home in a wildfire in 2020, where I'm going to be sharing information from that experience, both for people who are trying to support people from a natural disaster, as well as people going through life after the worst happens, and as well as for people who are interested in just learning more information, making sure they're prepared, etc. So today I'm going to be going over 3 different items to know going into wildfire season. It has been a super hot year, it's super dry, and it's really important to make sure you have a lot of facts going into summer with this much risk. So my first tip is about knowing your alert systems. So I'm sure you're thinking, I get Amber Alerts. It's gotta be the same thing. Unfortunately, it's not. I thought it was like that, and I did not realize you actually have to register for citizen alert systems if you want to get text messages on your phone, if in case of a wildfire or some sort of other disaster in your region. And so I didn't know this until about an hour before I had to evacuate, but being able to have those notifications early, they have continual levels of warnings, is really helpful so you can be as prepared and make those sorts of decisions for yourself and your family early with a lot of time. And so the way you do this is every county has their own alert system. Some larger metropolitan areas will all use potentially the same third-party source, but you do have to kind of look it up by county as it might vary depending on where you live. And so the way you're gonna find this is if you do a Google search with your county name and citizens alert or wildfire alert, you will be directed in your Google search to a .org account with your county in it. You really want to make sure it's a .org and not some third party that might not be accurate, could be a scam kind of a thing. So once you click on that .org, you're going to be sent to their kind of like landing page. Typically, this isn't where you actually sign up. It's going to have a link and direct you where to register. And so some counties choose to manage their own citizens alert, and it'll be specific to that county, while other areas might be using a third party. Again, big metropolitan areas like to make sure that everyone's kind of in one region. So you're going to be directed to that additional site. Some of these are fairly dated, so don't be super surprised if it looks like it came from the 90s. Know that that's definitely a thing when you're looking at it. So once you register, you can typically register multiple locations. So you can have one for your work, your home, your school, etc. And then you'll get notifications based off of the areas that you've put into your parameters. So some things to know about it is it doesn't know if you move. It also doesn't know if you're traveling. So for example, you're traveling in a different area, you're not gonna actually get any citizens alert for the area you're actively in. So it is still good to just be aware when you're traveling in areas that are high fire risk or high natural disaster risk, just being generally aware in general. So that's kind of what to know about your alert system. My tip number 2 is knowing your evacuation zone. So it's becoming more and more common for cities to have evacuation maps that they publish out to the public. And so what these maps are is they're going to be your city broken up into different sections with either a different letter or different number, or sometimes they're a combo where it's like 1A, 1B. And so these maps are very useful because they will both have your zone, but also will have arrows on what way the local government would like you to evacuate, to make sure that in a case of a natural disaster, everyone is evacuating really orderly. They're able to keep those roads clear and make sure everyone is able to get out. The thing too with those is that they might have arrows going in different directions. So if you have something coming from the north, you can go south and vice versa, or east to west. So it's really good to know your evacuation zone to make sure that you know exactly the sort of route to travel in those sorts of scenarios where you might have to evacuate. Kind of 2.5 of this is it doesn't hurt to know your surroundings and your back roads. One of the easy ways to do this is when you're traveling from friends and family house, or work or generally different areas is trying to take different routes. I also recommend just getting lost, having a fun day of it. Maybe you'll find something cool, a cool new, cafe or cool shop or something you had no idea was there. But it's really important to know kind of the lay of the land with or without GPS. For me, this was extremely life-saving. I actually let myself run out of gas, unfortunately, and I was at completely almost no tank of gas when I was evacuating, but because I knew the back roads, I was able to get out of traffic and super far away from the fire very quickly, while if I would have sat in traffic, I definitely would have ran out of gas before I could have ever been replenished at a gas station. And so this made a huge difference with just really being aware of my surroundings and how to get multiple locations kind of fairly quickly. So I'm sure you've guessed what number 3 is, which is don't let your tank go to empty. So I made this mistake. It was extremely stressful. I was very lucky that I was able to get out of that situation. However, if the fire would have changed directions or the traffic would have taken longer, I would have ran out of gas and then I would have been in quite a predicament that could have potentially been life-threatening. So a really, really big rule in the summer months or hot and dry season is if you can and you have a vehicle, keep it at a quarter tank. At least at a quarter, you'll be able to get hopefully far enough that you're gonna be able to get gas or something else, but don't let yourself, whatever you do, don't let yourself get to empty. And another thing that was interesting that I didn't think about was that during the fire and right after the fire, a lot of the gas stations actually ran out completely of gas and they didn't have anyone to really replenish for quite a while. And so if you were lucky enough to find a gas station that did have gas, it was a super long line, you still totally could have run out, or there wasn't even anything in the area at all. So it's just really good practice to keep a quarter tank in the summer, just in case something does happen or whenever you have concerns around natural disasters in general. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this has been informative and helpful. If you did find it informative and helpful, please like and subscribe. And I will be posting some more videos, both about how to prep, but then also about first kind of steps after losing your home, as well as how do you support some people that you love as they go through life through that process. So I hope to see you again in my next video and have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.